The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is the world's second largest oil producer. After that comes Russia with a third spot. Since the beginning of the conflict in Ukraine, Saudi Arabia has been buying staggering quantities of oil from Russia. These transactions have been going on for quite some time. Why is Riyadh acting in this manner? And what game are Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia, and Mohammed bin Salman, the crown prince of Saudi Arabia, playing together? It appears that the efforts made by the Biden administration to penalize and isolate MBS had come to an end. Why is he making this turnaround? Hey guys, welcome back to Darkness Unraveled. In today's video, we are going to talk about the new Saudi Arabian strategy of offering oil discounts to Asian and European customers, but a price increase to the USA. So stay with us till the end of this video so you don't miss out on any of this information. But before we proceed, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click on the bell symbol so that you don't miss out on any of our wonderful videos in the future. Let's get started. Joe Biden, the Vice President of the United States, has a strong aversion to Mohammed bin Salman, the Crown Prince and de facto leader of Saudi Arabia. This is not a hidden fact. During the campaign for the 2020 presidential election, Biden made it abundantly apparent how much he despises MBS. Biden has been working at dethroning MBS for the better part of a year at this point. Obviously, he has not been successful, and now MBS is making things difficult for Biden by not cooperating with his request to increase oil production in order to slow down rising prices and inflation. This is making it harder for Biden to do his job. In reality, this places Biden in a perilous position just in time for the midterm elections in the US. Biden's unsuccessful attempts to unseat MBS. With his welcoming policies and his mix of traditionalism and modernity in his approach, MBS is working to dispel the stereotype of Saudi Arabia as an antiquated and fundamentalist kingdom. However, Biden has a soft spot for traditional Saudi Arabia. Therefore, not long after assuming power, he began pressuring King Salman to replace his son Mohammed bin Salman, often known as MBS, with Mohammed bin Nayef, MBN, who has previously held the position of the Crown Prince. In any event, Biden had gone out to King Salman and lowered relations with the de facto ruler of the Arab Kingdom, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. He desired to erase the legacy of the preceding few years, during which time MBS had become the dominant political figure in Riyadh and the surrounding region. In an effort to oust MBS from his position, Biden is stoking the fires of discontent within the House of Saud. Due to the nature of the political climate in Saudi Arabia, MBS is in the process of modernizing the kingdom and moving it in the opposite direction of what it is now. On the other hand, the clerics and other conservative elites inside the House of Saud are fighting tooth and nail against his vision for reform. It is said that practicing religious experts, princes from the ruling House of Saud, and ordinary Saudis are furious about the reforms made by the Crown Prince, and they would like nothing more than to overflow the individual who serves as the de facto ruler of the kingdom. And Biden has, of course, been exploiting this scenario deftly to his advantage in order to weaken and marginalize MBS. Even King Salman increased his level of engagement. It appears as though he was making a last-ditch effort to negotiate a quid pro quo with the king by bringing up topics such as Yemen and Iran's nuclear program. The president of the US wants King Salman to remove Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman from his position, and in exchange, the US promises to assist Saudi Arabia with important geopolitical challenges. MBS responds to Biden's criticisms. In spite of his frantic efforts, the US president has been unable to remove MBS from his position or isolate him. You have to understand that the Saudi Crown Prince is still firmly in control of Riyadh's affairs, despite the efforts of the Biden administration to undermine his authority, which have been unsuccessful. It would appear that Biden's life at home is becoming more challenging as a result of his antagonistic behavior with MBS. So where does Biden and the US stand now? Saudi Arabia has rejected Vice President Biden's plea to increase oil production in order to reduce rising costs and inflation. Since August of last year, Saudi Arabia has ignored the requests made by the President of the United States about oil output, and this is the second time it has done so. Now is the time for you to get a grasp on what it implies. To put this into perspective for you, inflation is rapidly becoming a major political issue in the US. In point of fact, it is such a contentious matter for Biden that when he was questioned about it, he insulted Peter Doocy, a reporter for Fox News, by calling him a dumb son of a bitch and hurling expletives at him. In light of this, it is possible that gas prices may remain elevated in the run-up to the key midterm elections in the US if Saudi Arabia does not agree to increase oil production. There is a good chance that voters in the U.S. blame the president for the skyrocketing inflation and deteriorating relations with Saudi Arabia. Therefore, they will be harsh on the candidates running for the Democratic Party in the upcoming elections. And the Democrats will point the finger of blame squarely at Biden for their defeats at the polls. Therefore, Biden will have difficulties during the primary elections for the Democratic Party's presidential nomination in 2024. As the continuous geopolitical uncertainty is having an effect on the U.S. as well, Biden is of the opinion that a rise in oil output in Saudi Arabia is also necessary for the recovery of the global economy. Given the new lows that Washington, D.C.-Moscow ties have deteriorated to, it seems unlikely that Russia will increase its oil supply. If Saudi Arabia likewise maintains its output low, then Biden is staring at a really huge problem. It has been suggested by a senior member of the Democratic congressional staff that the Saudis are deploying the oil weapon against the Democrats. So karma is hitting back at Biden. He was attempting to displace MBS, but it appears that MBS is the one who will be able to displace Biden. Yet it now seems that Biden is taking a U-turn on Saudi Arabia. Besides the reason mentioned earlier, there are also other reasons, Iran-related. The second reason is Iran-related. Reviving the Iran nuclear deal was difficult. Obama promoted a cold peace between Iran and Sunni Arabs, ignoring Israel's complaints, and went ahead with the nuclear deal. Trump withdrew the U.S. from the nuclear deal and pushed greater connections between Israel and Sunni Arabs. Biden tried to restore the nuclear accord and enhance Israel-Arab ties. Iran's accord remained elusive. Iran's president was moderate and willing to negotiate during the Obama administration. Now, however, hardliners govern all of Iran. Iran has a 25-year economic cooperation pact with China and has joined the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Biden finds an empowered Iran in talks, which refuses to make greater concessions than the 2015 deal. Iran also wants Biden to abolish the IRGC'S terrorist label. Mr. Biden, facing criticism from Israel and Sunni Arabs, declined to remove Iran's terrorist label, halting the nuclear discussions for now. Faced with uncertainties about the Iran deal, the Biden administration looks determined to reinforce the Israel-Sunni Arab coalition. Saudi Arabia's help is very much needed, so the U.S. secured a deal between Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and Israel to transfer Tehran and Sanafir to Saudi Arabia. Ukraine conflict. Thirdly, the Ukraine conflict. Russia's invasion of Ukraine on February 24 and the West's efforts to punish President Vladimir Putin have disrupted global energy markets, worsening the cost of living problem in Western countries. The U.S. bans Russian oil. The EU is phasing out 90% of Russian oil imports and plans to abolish tanker insurance. Global crude prices are around $100 per barrel. Prices could rise after the insurance moratorium. It could worsen the inflation situation in the West, which has reached 9.1% in the U.S. Mr. Biden wants Saudi Arabia to pump more oil into the market to stabilize prices. His Democratic Party confronts gloomy midterm electoral prospects. Saudi Arabia has extra production capacity. And lastly, the U.S. needs Mohammed bin Salman's Saudi Arabia to penalize Russia, while minimizing the impact on Western economies. And that's it for today, guys. We sincerely hope you enjoyed the video. If so, please click on the like button and share it with your friends and family. If you have any questions or comments, please share them with us in the comment space below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel to see even more of our incredible videos. You can also check out our other videos that have been specially selected for you. We'll catch up in the next video.